Welcome to Electronic Specifier Insights, the podcast for electronics engineers. I'm your guest host, Sheryl Miles. In today's episode, I'm joined by Mateja Lampe Rupnik, CEO of Red Pitaya, a company known for its open source test and measurement tools that are shaking up the way engineers, researchers, and enthusiasts interact with hardware. I've spoken with Mateja before, and what's always struck me is her very human and refreshingly honest take on leadership, technology, and growth. Not just business growth, but personal growth too. Today we're going to talk about her growth from studying art history to leading a technology company, the support and mindset that have helped her along the way, and what other women, especially those without technical backgrounds, can take from her journey. We discuss this and so much more. Thanks for listening. I'm Sheryl, and I'm delighted to be joined by Mateja Lampe Rupnik, CEO of Red Pitaya. Mateja, it's really great to speak to you again. Firstly, how are you?
I'm okay. Thank you for inviting me. And I'm excited to talk to you again.
Yeah, me too. It's an absolute pleasure. So firstly, let's just start off with an introduction of yourself and your background.
Okay. So, my background is quite interesting. So I studied history of art and Russian language. And, when usually people, when you tell them that you study something like that, the reaction is always, oh my God, where will you get a job with this kind of education? But that was not really a problem for me because I got a job before I finished my studies. But anyway, I started the career in the automotive industry, focusing mainly on supply chain management and particularly for Russian language. So for Russian market. So basically, Russian language helped me get my first job. But then I focused into supply chain. And then after the birth of my third child, I had to find a job a bit closer to my home. And actually, I think my husband showed me an ad for a supply chain manager in a company that was like, when I saw the ad, oh my God, these guys are some scientists. Why would they need me? But anyway, I sent the CV and they accepted me. So this is how the story started with instrumentation technologies and with the Red Pitaya. And this is basically in short, my intro.
Perfect. Lovely. And so maybe for those who aren't familiar with the company you work at, could you introduce Red Pitaya?
Yeah, of course, gladly. Basically, Red Pitaya is a story that started at Instrumentation Technologies in 2013. Maybe a few words about Instrumentation Technologies. Instrumentation Technologies is a leader in the particle accelerator market. They produce these very complex measurement instruments for particle accelerators. So this is like, the big physics, very high-end applications. And the story of Red Pitaya started in 2013 as an idea to find a solution that would democratize science. Let's put it this way. So the idea was, let's create an open source, affordable, compact-sized device that allows anyone from hobbyists to professors, students, researchers, or just people in their garages to perform advanced measurements and experiments in a very affordable and very plug-and-play way. And essentially, the project was all about making high-tech tools accessible to everyone and fostering innovation across the board. So that was basically the background idea. One important factor about this project was that it was proved on the Kickstarter. It was not just launched on the market without any proof from the market. There was a very successful Kickstarter campaign, which raised $250,000. And this really showed how much interest and support was from the community. And as an open source tool, there's always a community. Also, if you look at Raspberry Pi, if you look at Arduino, there's always a huge community of users that builds around this kind of open source tools. And for us, the community is more than just a user base. We see them basically as a crucial part of our team. helping us drive innovation. And this is how Red Pitaya in these 12 years, on this wave of community shaped from tool for hobbyists into a very serious tool, basically for industry. Yeah, we are very versatile trust solution for industry professionals. We are also present at academia, and yeah, maybe just for users who don't know what do we actually sell, just in few words. So we are talking about open source programmable platform, a compact computer, let's say Linux computer. If you plug it to your computer, to your phone, you can very easily reach apps for different measurement instruments. This is the basic product. Through the years, it ended up in very interesting industrial applications. Uh, the product is integrated in products in photonics, in quantum power, energy, like partial discharge applications are very common with Red Pitaya. Uh, Applications that have to do with radars, lidars. So really a variety of industry applications that we are very proud of, and it was really interesting to see how this transition from being a tool for hobbyists to being a tool to becoming a tool for really high-end industrial applications happened in these 12 years.
Fantastic, and you were a really big part, I think, in that shift of going from enthusiasts to industry professionals. And when we spoke before, you did it all while keeping the company's sort of branding intact, if you like, because you said it's a very tricky area to navigate. Like you don't want to disclude the enthusiasts, but you also wanted to encompass the industry professionals. Do you think then that, you know, having a non-technical background helped you navigate that transition? And what did you learn from the process?
Yeah, basically, honestly, this is quite a huge transition, and it involved the whole team, definitely, the technical part of the team, and a very honest interaction with our customer base. This is how we made the transition. And as you mentioned, it is actually a risky transition because you can damage the brand. But I think relying on really feedback from our huge community is something that reassured us that this is actually the right direction that we are making. In the process, we had to stay true to some of our core values, right? So, like we remained open source because we think that collaboration is an important factor also for industrial users. So by staying open source and actively engaging with our customer base, we actually created a two-way dialogue that shaped this development and basically fostered also loyalty because we were always discussing with customers how to push forward. And so this customer centricity, listening to our industrial users and also the original community helped us to somehow design a really flexible, customizable solutions that, that are that meet all the diverse needs out there. And I think we are still, one of our core values is still democratizing technology, and maybe we are just moving that democratization into industry because industry is moving in such a fast shape with all the innovations that are happening that basically engineers, when innovating, they need to have affordable tools that change that can support them in going through the whole development and innovation process. And I think we think that Red Pitaya is basically that tool. And at the end, when shifting from enthusiasts into industry, we had to still stay true to or even improve on the quality and reliability side. So this is also one of our core values. And I think by being true to ourselves, to our core values, we did a great job.
Absolutely, yeah, I think so. And that's one of the big things that I think you spoke about before is the importance of collaboration whether it's with your partners that you partner with or your team. And, big transitions, they need support as well. So maybe on that note, we could talk about a bit about the workplace culture, because, it can play a role in shaping people's potential in that. What kind of culture do you try to foster at Red Pitaya, and how has that evolved since you become CEO?
Yeah, that was quite an interesting development. Yeah, because basically when I took over in Red Pitaya, that was under the harshest COVID lockdowns. It was quite interesting start. And at the time, two people were employed at Red Pitaya, uh, or three. Yeah, three actually. And now we are a team of 15, plus we have a huge base of part-time collaborators and outsourced partners. And yeah, so I was really lucky because I was building the company culture from scratch. And I hope um, I did, we together with the team did a good job. I have a very young team, a very capable, ambitious team. And what I really try, and we should hear their feedback if I'm successful with this, but I'm really trying to give them the possibility to be independent in their work. So micromanagement is something that I'm really trying to avoid. Give young people free hands to come up with the ideas, challenge the ideas, and then follow up with their ideas. Because there is really a fantastic team. One thing that we are also trying to do, which is sometimes difficult, is really try to have a very transparent culture, a very transparent discussion, um, pointing out problems and discussing them openly and constructively. It's challenging, but I think this is an important factor. And then because we are basically still a mid-sized company, we are trying to have a flat organization. I'm encouraging people to do cross-functional teams. And because we are talking about young team, we are also trying to offer them very flexible working environment. This is important for younger generation nowadays. And then, of course, we are a very diverse team. I think diversity is also an important factor for a great culture, not just the great culture, also for uh, innovation, because we are a tech company. Innovation and changes are our daily things. And I think we are 50-50, female, male, maybe one male more, and many nationalities. So we have a lot of people around here from Macedonia, Romania, Slovenia, and so on and so forth, Italy. And we just joined a person in UK now. We have a salesperson that's in UK. We have a salesperson that it's in US. We are opening a office in US. So also with the expanding the company, I think for me as a CEO, uh, one of the important factors will be to try to foster this culture also when the company grows.
Fantastic. And what role does that diversity and culture play in helping shape Red Pitaya?
Absolutely. Red Pitaya, as I said, it's a tech company, especially now transitioning from into industrial markets, which are quite demanding markets. One of the first things is innovation and knowledge sharing. This is also one of our core values. And I think diversity really helps teams looking at challenges, at problems, or at future development strategies from different perspectives. I truly believe that women, we have a little bit different view on some things. We have a different language than men do, and also, you know, we we had a really great addition with our UK and US team members, Ross and Mike. Especially for us here in Europe, if we are trying to penetrate US markets, we cannot do that successfully without somebody who actually speaks American market language. So I think diversity is definitely a very important factor for a company to overcome all modern challenges.
Excellent. And so would you say that your mindset has evolved over the years? And do you have any sort of like habits or routines that help you stay focused and resilient despite the challenges that you face?
Yeah, so definitely through my experience, also through my MBA education, I went through some transition. As a young person, you're very reactive. As a experienced person, you learned how to reflect. From reacting quickly, now you take time to consider different perspectives before you make a decision. Definitely, uh, as I mentioned, from control to trust, this is a change that I had to make. I have a young team, as I said, and I really don't believe that micromanagement is a good way to run a team. So this is also a challenge or challenge or experience that I had to go through and a skill that I had to get. And then as a supply chain in supply chain, supply chain management is one crisis on top of the other crisis. Every day when you open your office door, there's another problem that you have to solve. So changes, and going through these changes, becoming a resilient and embracing changes. This is also something I had to go through. And you mentioned habits. I don't know. For sure, also for a woman my age, what I really tried to do is take time for myself. I exercise every morning with no exception. That's very important. The body is becoming more and more stiff. So this is something you need to take care of at this age. And then, I studied history of art. I'm still in love with art. When I travel, I try to squeeze in some gallery visits. I have two season tickets into different theaters. I love theater here in Slovenia. We have a fantastic network of theaters, very innovative. Yeah, I think spending time with my husband, with my family, this kind of general stuff. Nothing really special.
Yeah, you say that, but I think it's so easy to lose sight of when you are busy. It's easy to give everything to your role and then forget about the simple things in life, the things that actually boost you and rejuvenate you. And I think when we spoke before, you mentioned that there's a certain amount of loneliness that can come with leadership. And so how important is it, do you think, it is to have allies you can trust and discuss challenges with, especially as CEO of a company?
Oof, that's very important. That's absolutely very important because, as you mentioned, at certain point, at certain challenges, you feel very lonely. For me, there's a great help from my board. I have a really board of director that's really built of seasoned, experienced managers. So that's definitely one thing. And then in the group of companies, instrumentation technologies, and Red Pitaya, I have my colleague, CEO of Red Pitaya, Elvis Janežić, who I can sometime chat, talk, go for lunch, have a good discussion. And as non-technical CEO, an important help is also from the city, not help, but a pillar, a support from our CTO, Chert Valentinčić, is also extremely important. So yeah, and then of course, I don't know, also sometimes my husband for certain things. So yeah, talking to people, not keeping things inside, discussing. I think this is very important. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when we spoke, we did the Women in Tech in Wed webinar, and afterwards you quoted a post by Georgia O'Keeffe and said, "It's not enough to be nice in life, you have to have nerve." What does that quote mean to you?
Well, yeah, Georgia O'Keeffe was an American painter. And, if you look at the history of art, there's like 99% of male painters or artists and just 1% female. And Georgia was really, in those times, tackling a segment that was really male dominated. And she had to, you know, to us women, they usually refer to us, you have to be nice. Yeah, it's absolutely very important to be nice for women and for men. But as women, especially in her time, she needed to also have nerve, to be courageous, to be independent, to be courageous and brave enough to go further and not stop. And I think, yeah, that's quite an important. I like her quote as well, and I think I heard a quote also from Meryl Streep, the famous actor, lately, and she mentioned that we women learned how to talk men language, but men didn't really learn to talk women. And women, we dream in men's language, but men still need to do that. And I think I was really lucky in my life because I learned to talk that language quite early on. That helped me a lot. How to teach men to learn to speak women's language, that's something that I see at my with my younger colleagues, female colleagues, that they will do a great job in doing this transition. Yeah.
That's fantastic and positive to hear that the change is happening. And very good point. I didn't really consider it that way around. I knew that women obviously had learned to speak the male language, but I didn't consider
Exactly.
the other point. So let's talk a bit about your journey to CEO, because it has been very organic. As you say, you studied history of art, and then rather than follow a fixed plan from when we last spoke, it seemed that you sort of followed opportunities as they presented themselves to you. So what do you think other women, particularly those that don't have a tech background, can learn from the way you've approached your career?
Well, yeah, I keep repeating that when asked about it, but I think women should really not limit themselves, no matter what background. If for especially for non-tech women, I mean, diverse experience brings really valuable perspectives. I can tell that from the experience, and I think they should keep that in mind. uh, if you have different perspectives, this means that you have different strengths. That should make women feel confident in going in further with their plans. And they should be bold and courageous. Women are, that's proven that we don't feel as confident as men feel about some things. I think a lot of analysis was done in that direction, that male colleagues are much more confident in the ideas that they have than women. So I think bold, courageous, and vocal. Just talk about your ideas, be loud about your suggestions, and I think that's definitely a must. And then, from my experience, I'm a mother of three. I believe that you can build a career and you can be a mother. That's absolutely doable with a huge support from your partner, definitely. So there need to be two people involved in that.
Fantastic. Yeah, and because when we spoke before as well, you mentioned that your male colleagues saw the value of what you had to offer from what you said, and they kind of suggested you for I think the role of CEO.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about, the webinar. Definitely, I'm very grateful to my male colleagues. The founder of Instrumentation Technologies and Red Pitaya, Ura Kuršić, was a great support. He was the one who saw a unique leadership profile in me and suggested me for a CEO. And also before the instrumentation technology supported me in my career development. So he's definitely a person that I'm very thankful to. Then, as a non-technical person, I had to have a great support from my colleague engineers, especially the instrumentation technologies. You have to, although you're not a technical person, you have to push yourself to a certain level where you understand some basic concepts. And without an openness and really sharing knowledge and explaining complex things, like for dummies, no, for complex things from simple perspectives. This is something that I'm very thankful to all G engineers. I can't think of one person who would not be willing to share knowledge, and I'm very grateful for that. And then also, if we go even when on the webinar, we also mentioned family. So I was also lucky that my father. I think this is actually very important if we're talking about female perspectives. Important for young fathers. You know, don't make differences. Don't cuddle is that the cuddle that's English. Cuddle your daughters, and they should be just as tough as the guys. And I was lucky enough to had a father who supported that. And yeah, maybe a funny story. That's something maybe that shaped me as well. You know, I don't know how young or what age your viewer, your listeners are, but I grew up in a country that was called Yugoslavia. That was a country that was a communist country, and my parents at the time were really very, how would you put that, ambitious, in a bad way from communist point of view way, because they built a private company in the times when this was really something bad to do. Under communism, this was not really supported. And they were both building this. It was a small hospitality business, and they built it together very equally, shaping the business, building strategies, taking all the risks. And I think this is also something that shaped me a little bit. A funny story. So yeah, I don't know how many people know about Yugoslavia.
Still, I'm sure of you. I'm sure of you.
Depending how old your listeners are.
No, I think we've got a very broad listener base, so I'm sure there is a few out there that would definitely know. Yeah. So I think then that probably shapes the way that you approach things now. You approach challenges. You've learned, because as children you learn more from seeing than from hearing. I know certainly from my daughter, she'll hear what I say, but she'll see what I do and follow that more strongly at the moment. And so I guess that's shaped you as you've grown older, and you've led Red Pitaya through expansion, awards, new markets. What's been your proudest moment as CEO so far, and what excites you most about what's coming next?
What I'm really proud about is that we are becoming actually an important global player, and that major brands like Texas Instruments and Analog Devices want to collaborate with us. We're just about to launch a new product in partnership with Texas Instruments. It's basically a board that features their analog to digital converters. With Arduino, we've developed an environment that allows Red Pitaya to be controlled through Arduino ecosystem. There are also some existing discussions underway with Analog Devices on a potential joint development and on top of that, we are collaborating on academic projects together with ADI, with Arduino, and also with our distributor, DigiKey. So I really think this is a big thing, and I'm very proud about it. I'm really proud of my team. The way they developed in these years is something that really gives me energy every day that I see them, that I talk to them, that we strategize and discuss. I think this team is really something I'm very proud of. We also have a great product. The way this transition happened from these more general markets into high-end industrial markets. This proves that we have a really fantastic product, thanks to the engineering's minds behind it in 2013. And we are just launching a second generation of products right now. And I think this is going to be, we're really looking forward how the market will accept them. But I think it's going to be a really great time because the product was built, as I mentioned before, really in deep discussions with our high-end customers on quantum, on photonics, in power, energy, and so on. And yeah, so this is really an exciting time. And I really believe that, the Red Pitaya will grow into even more powerful, even more impactful global company. And I'm looking forward, and I'm proud of everybody that helps with that. And I'm very thankful to everybody that supports us. And starting with the founders, with the engineering team that stands behind the whole thing, and the entire team. So I think there are some really exciting years in front of Red Pitaya, and I'm looking forward.
Excellent. Yeah, that is very exciting. And as you mentioned, quantum and photonics are very emerging markets right now. So yeah, it's going to be exciting to know what happens in the future. Before we wrap things up, is there anything that you wanted to add?
No, thank you so much for inviting me. I think these are important topics, and yeah.
No, absolutely. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much, Mateja.
Thank you. Thank you, Sheryl. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to this latest episode of Electronic Specifier Insights. Don't forget to subscribe to the series to keep up to date with our newest guests, and do share with fellow colleagues, friends, and family who may be interested in the latest news from the electronics industry.